Alright guys, this is Burt from Soft Tubes and I'm back with another movie review. This one I'm currently recording at 10:11 at night because I just went and saw, we're doing Dumbo, I should say up front. Um, but I went and saw Dumbo at about 6:30, then the movie ended and I had to drive out to go pick up a package from a locker and then drive home and film this review. So it's a bit late, so I'm a little out of it, so I might miss a few things, but I'm going to try and get my basic thoughts out. I do want to say right now, I don't think there's anything. If you know the original film, I don't think there's anything really that spoilery here. Like certain events, maybe, but there's not really anything I would say is a spoiler for the movie. But be warned that just because I feel that way doesn't mean there isn't stuff that is, and I'm just gonna kind of talk about the movie. So there's not going to be like a point where I'm like, these are spoilers now. So I might spoil some stuff just randomly. So, just be warned if you haven't seen it already and you want to kind of have it completely spoiler free when you go in. So I will say, this was not a movie I was terribly excited to see it leading up to. Just everything in the trailers I just went, eh. And if it wasn't for the cast that was in it, I probably would have avoided it, and to be honest, I would have been happy to have done that in retrospect. So, I guess the first major thing is the fact that the trailers were really big on that touting of, from the imagination of Tim Burton. And I think that's part of what makes this movie fail the most. Problem is, Tim Burton isn't who he used to be. He used to be the imagination guy. For a while now, a few years, he hasn't quite reached the level he used to be at. And that's kind of a problem, especially in something like this. So, it's weird. This thing is just lacking in imagination as a whole. It's a child family film based on a rather imaginative animation from the 40s. And it's remade with a modern day and a modern sensibility, and it's just the most unimaginative children's film I think I've seen in a while. And even I've seen trailers for bad children's movies, but I'm still like, they have more imagination than this. The most imaginative scenes in this film are ones that are pretty much taken from the original film. Almost entirely, except they're redone in a way that's less imaginative. I mean, this one's probably a spoiler right here, but there's the pink elephant dance, or march, whatever it's called in the original. It's like a pretty iconic sequence. It's pretty out there. It's pretty trippy overall. They do that, but they do it as not balloons, it's bubbles. It's bubbles that move and dance. For some reason, the bubbles are magic, and no one really gives a shit about that. But they give a shit about the flying elephant being magic. And then the balloons, the bubbles are just done. It's just the sequence, and you can't quite tell exactly what things are supposed to be at points, and it's just you could have done something better, like a dream sequence would have, I don't know. It's just not great. And then, there's an issue from adapting this from the original, because the original was almost entirely about animals. The humans were all tertiary and bad guys and stuff, but they weren't really major characters. Here, every single animal character, essentially aside from Dumbo and his mother, have been replaced with human characters. And that's such a weird thing, especially some of them are problematic, although they did remove the racist crows entirely from the film, except for I think there's a line, because I'm pretty sure it's the crows that say it about you've seen a horse fly and a house fly in that line. They do use that, but it's somewhere else, and it's done it's an announcer, and it's a boxing announcer voice, which is weird because it's for a circus. It's very, very strange all overall, and and they do other weird stuff with it. Some scenes are shifted. I don't think there's that much from what I remember, but they definitely shift dialogue, like the crow line. And overall, the story's kind of this just bloated, fluffy mess, where it's nearly 2 hours long. That doesn't add anything that was necessary to be added, as far as I can tell. And by the time I got to the third act, the beginning of the third act, it felt like the movie should already be ending. Because we've had so much nothingness happening that it's like, this should be the ending now. But no, we're still moving on to the last friggin' bit. We still have like half an hour or so to go. And at that point, I was over the movie already at that point. I was just sitting there just waiting at that point. Like, this is the most exciting climax of the film. And it kind of reminded me of Crimes of Grindelwald, where I'm like, there's a climax, but it's not a very exciting climax. Something's just lacking in all of this. And I mean, and then the dialogue throughout is just this horrible and chunky mess of a thing. And I get it. Kids' films, sometimes you need to say stuff out loud just to make sure the kids understand what's kind of happening. This movie does that for things that don't need to be said. It's like a scene where the mother's like spraying water on Dumbo. And they're like, what? I think it's the girl goes, she's giving him a bath. You didn't need to say that. Even if the kid doesn't get that she's giving him a bath, it's just a visual scene of the mother pouring water on the son. That's all you needed. You didn't need to say anything. It's such a... I think it's a trend in kids' movies these days, especially ones where they're not really confident on the script. Because they do the same in that other Disney one, actually. Nutcracker in the Four Realms. Pretty sure that was Disney. And they, like, there's a ballet that shows you what's happening, and then freaking Keira Knightley standing there going, and then she meets the such and such. And you're like, yeah, I can see it. This is what the whole point of the ballet is. Ballet tells you stuff without saying things. But that's a whole other movie and a whole other issue. So let's move on. So, thankfully, most of the acting was good in this, which is really good for me because it was the main reason I went and saw this in the first place. I would have probably just avoided this movie if I didn't like the cast. Like Colin Farrell, who me and a friend consider him and Jake Gyllenhaal are your most favorite actors that you will never think of as your favorite actors. You will love them in pretty much everything they do, but when someone asks who's your favorite actor, you're probably not going to think of them straight off the bat. But Colin Farrell is amazing. Very rare for him to get like a lead role. He used to be like not great in them, but they always gave him the wrong lead role. Here I think they gave him a pretty good one. The only problem is he's forced to do his best with a really poorly structured script and some bad lines. But he does make it well. And then like Danny DeVito is entertaining every time he's on screen. But again, it kind of feels like he left his best work over on Always Sunny. Because there's something just off. I don't know what it is. There's just something slightly off about it. And then you got Eva Green and Michael Keaton. They're pretty good. I wouldn't say they're anything amazing here. They also have like the least amount of time in the film, and so they only get limited time to work. And then you have things like Keaton has an accent that I don't know what it's supposed to be, and I'm pretty sure it changes a couple times during his like scenes. But he still does a pretty good job. I mean, it's Keaton. He's always good. So it's fun to watch. And I mean, but the worst performances overall are the circus performers and the kids. And the circus performers you can kind of get away with. They're basically side characters that are fill-ins for a lot of the animal characters that don't really do a lot in the original film. I think they give them more to do here. But the problem is the children are kind of the main protagonists if you don't count like Colin Farrell and then Dumbo. Like those ones are also the main characters. And they're not great. I wouldn't even say they're good. Like, getting child actors is damn hard, especially really good child actors. Like, it's really hard, and it sucks because it can ruin a movie really easily. And the problem with this movie is it puts so much on them. They're like the main focus of all the emotional hinges of this film. All of it kind of goes through them and their journey. They're not good. And that hurts every scene that they're like trying to be the hook of it. And you're just like, I don't care. Like, they didn't seem to really care. Like, they're very blank in almost everything they do. And then it's made worse after I just saw Us, which had amazing child performances. And like, it's just, if you're gonna make children the main part of your movie, make sure they can act well, because the moment they don't, it puts everything off. I mean, largely this film is just kind of lifeless and void of any real magic, which is weird. It's a Disney movie. That's what they do. But I mean, every setting is just this drab, uninspired crap. That there's like they do like training with Dumbo for the big like circus thing, and it's a brown tent. Like, I get it's only a training tent. In the real world, they wouldn't be really amazing. It's a movie. It doesn't matter. It's a movie about a flying fucking elephant. Do what you want. Just go nuts with it. Like, if you're gonna make this movie, you got Tim Burton. This guy makes crazy shit, and somehow even he was like, man, brown. Oh, just brown tent. Like, you embrace the whimsical, fantastical world of Dumbo. That's what you do with this movie, and they don't do that. And I don't know why. It would have been so freaking smart to just do that. Just go nuts, like, big, incredible circus. They don't necessarily, like, the circus tent doesn't have to make sense. It just has to look amazing and be like its own character. No one gave a crap to even try, apparently. I will say, though, there's a scene set in the Indian jungle which I feel they really wasted by not showing Mowgli and revealing that this is all part of a Disney live-action remake cinematic universe. Now, I'm joking, but if they'd actually done that, it would have given me something to connect with in this movie. Because I watched it, it finished like an hour, no, hang on, 10:30 now? It's like 2 hours ago? 2 hours ago I watched it. I don't know of any scene that really sticks out to me. There's the clown scene, but it's not really amazing, especially when you think about the original. Like the fire fighting scene. Yeah, not really anything that connects. I mean, ultimately, this film was just a slog for me. It just... I don't know, maybe I don't have the nostalgia for the original film required. Because, I mean, the last time I saw it was as a kid. I can't remember how old, but I saw it as a kid. I didn't remember really liking it. It kind of like, it was very sad and stuff, which put me off as a child. And I don't really remember anything about it. But, so this remake didn't do anything for me except long for the credits to arrive. And maybe that's all on me. Maybe if I love the original, maybe I'd like this more. Maybe I'd like it less, too. I don't know. I mean, the performances are good. It's still pretty damn well shot. But the story it's too long for what it is. They needed to cut out like freaking 40 minutes or so of this film. 40 minutes, tighten the whole thing up. But they didn't do that, and this is what we got. Like, for me, it's a 3 out of 5 stars. That's all I can give it. Like, I don't like to go too low end. Like, there's very rarely, unless it's a terrible movie, will I give it a really low rating. But this is kind of the lowest I'll typically give. I mean, it's still well constructed. It's still well put together. It's just lacking very severely in a few areas. And areas that I feel are kind of important to it, though. But anyway, that was my review of Dumbo. If you liked it, hit the like button down below. I mean, if you didn't like it, you can leave a dislike. I mean, I get it. Some people seem to really like this movie. I did not. And I can't really help that. Essentially, this is just my review. I don't know. Like, if you get something out of it, like, leave a comment below. If you like Dumbo, and if you know why you liked it, especially, like, leave a comment. Let me know, because I'm really interested in what people like about it that I might have missed. Maybe I wasn't in the right mindset. Like, I went kind of like, it was later than work. I finished work and sat around and did nothing for a while. But then I went and saw it. Maybe I was in the wrong mindset. I don't know. That's just, wish I could have liked it more than I did, ultimately. But anyway, also make sure you hit that subscribe button, and you can keep up with any time I do new reviews and stuff. I'm still playing through Oxenfree. There'll be trailer reactions as they pop up. I mean, Shazam's out Wednesday, so I'll probably go see that, and there'll be a review, hopefully Thursday, but it'll probably be Friday, simply because of my schedule. And then Pet Sematary I'll probably watch on the weekend, so that'll be the next week. So there's like constantly stuff to watch, essentially. So yeah, make sure you hit the subscribe and you won't miss any of it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.
Oh, what are you doing? doing here?
No time to explain. Come with me.
We need to get
That's
back
where
to our
she
kid.
got to.
Aw, Sheriff Woody always coming to the rescue.
Bonnie needs
Have a
40.
different voice.
Who needs a kid's room when you can have all of this?
Wow.
Wow.
Bo Peep became an adventurer.
Aren't we going to Bonnie?